And then on Gaza, there's reports of just this prevalence of looting of humanitarian aid by gangs in Gaza. There's a report from the Post today that Israeli forces are looking the other way on this or actively facilitating it. What is the U.S. assessment of whether Israel is doing enough to stop this looting in Gaza?
So let me just first say, with respect to the looting that's ongoing, first of all, it's abhorrent, and the people who are looting humanitarian assistance for their own ends are taking food and medicine out of the hands of civilians, including children who need it, incredibly desperate people who need access to this food, and anyone who is stealing or diverting humanitarian assistance for their own profit, for their own gain, is quite obviously harming their own people, and they should stop immediately. That's the first thing that I think needs to be made clear when it comes to looting. Second, when it comes to looting, so what we have seen is a breakdown in the security situation inside of Gaza, and there are a lot of reasons for the breakdown in that security situation. And what we are trying to work through is, with the IDF, with COGAT, with the relevant UN agencies, to find solutions to get more security assistance delivered to the people that need it. So one of the things you heard us speak to last week is, at our request, the IDF opened new routes to deliver humanitarian assistance. And we're hopeful that some of those new routes will help divert convoys away from looters. But this has been a problem that's been ongoing for some time. You know, it was a problem several months ago, and we were able to work through a security situation, working through our UN partners. A lot of that work we can't really speak to, given its sensitive security question, but it is a critical goal to make sure humanitarian assistance gets to where it needs to go. Now, that said, ultimately, you are not going to finally solve this problem without an end to the war and the establishment of a new governance and security authority inside Gaza. Because ultimately that is the problem right now, is that there is an absence of a governing authority. And it's why we continue to work to establish a new governing authority, to make sure that there is someone who, if armed criminal gangs come to loot convoys, that there is someone that can stand up and stop them. And that is an urgent priority for the United States.
At this point, though, is the IDF and COGAT doing enough?
So they're working to establish a security, an improved security situation on the ground. But clearly, when you have looting going on, there's a breakdown, and the IDF certainly bears part of the blame for that. The overall breakdown in authority, the end of an actual government, a government we oppose, to be clear, but a government that was providing day-to-day security, and critically, the lack of a replacement with anything else, is ultimately the key culprit for the lack of security on the ground right now, which is why I get back to this point that we have to find an end to the war and the replacement. I don't think anyone believes, or at least no one in our government believes, and most people in the region don't believe, that the IDF ought to be the occupying power inside Gaza, providing security for the delivery of humanitarian assistance. There needs to be Palestinian-led security that is preventing convoys from being looted and preserving law and order, and that's what we're trying to work towards.